Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Today I want to give you a process that I use to help me to budget for investing. And this is something that you guys had asked me earlier. It's like, well, how much should I be investing? Number one, but also how do I adjust my budget to really help me to invest? Because you need some money to put into the market and to allow that money to grow. But how much money should I put in it of my disposable income? So as you guys know already, or you should know, you've been around here for a while, I'm someone who believes very, very heavily into habits and process. Like I obsess over the process of investing, my investing process, my social media process. I come up with a process and I stick with it. You can go to my Instagram and scroll as far back as you can. You will see it is a certain process of what I do, and that's what helped me to remain consistent and successful and all that kind of stuff. But the way that I tend to view it is your process will determine your progress, and your progress will determine your profits. Okay, that's a whole sermon in and of itself. But your process will determine your progress, and your progress will determine your profits. And what I mean when I say that is the process that you have when it comes to finances as a whole is going to determine how quickly you move and if you move at all. The worst thing that you can do, whether it's investing, savings, whatever it is to not move and to be stuck. And I don't want you to be stuck, because the longer that you're stuck, year, 2 years, 3 years, that is progress that you are not going to see, and it's compounding interest that you're not going to get. So I'm going to give you this rule. This is what's going to help you to put more money into the market, or to put some money in the market. Just anything is better than nothing. And then that's going to help you to continue and keep the ball rolling. So this is one you might have heard of before, but I'll kind of give you a little more details as to how it's helped me, how it's helped my clients, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so this is the 50-30-20 rule. So I get paid, I got my salary, my whatever it is, whether I'm a business owner or not, and I've got the 50-30-20 rule, which means that I try to get as close as I can to 50%, half of my salary should be going to all the stuff that I actually need. So mortgage, rent, student loans, which, I hope Joe get rid of those. But student loans, like all my bills, lights, all this stuff, I want to try and get that as close to 50% as I can. Okay, now not everybody's going to hit it immediately, but if you can get it to 50% or less, that's perfect, which means you got a whole other half for you to play with. And one way I did this, especially when I started my career and I moved out and got my own apartment and stuff, it actually worked backwards. So let's say if I was getting $40,000 to teach, I was like, okay, well, half of that is $20,000. Let's kind of account for taxes, because I'm not really going to get the full 20, and let's divide the rest of that by 12. Rent and everything else needs to fall within that half, which is automatically going to give me enough money to do other things. When I don't do that, and I'm not really thinking of the 50-30-20 rule, then that means that I'm going to get whatever I think I can afford, which means that if you get, let's say, $1,000 paycheck, you're like, okay, well, 1,000 is greater than $500, or 1,000 is greater than $800, so I'm just gonna go get this $800 apartment, even though I'm only making $1,000, and it's only gonna leave me with a tiny sliver left. And now I feel like I'm in that paycheck to paycheck space, which is not where you want to be. The 50-30-20 rule, and using that and tailoring and cutting back if you have to, is one way to get you out of that paycheck to paycheck cycle. That is extremely important, because when you feel like you're in that cycle and you're like, I hope I don't overdraft before this next paycheck hits, then your investment strategy also reflects that, and you're like, oh my God, I can't afford to lose money, or I need to hope that this trade works so I can take this money out and pay my bills and do stuff like that. That puts more pressure for you to be right more often, and you tend to be a little more emotional and take on risks that you might not be suited for when you're in that paycheck to paycheck space. Now, what happens if you cannot get your expenses down to that 50%? I have been there. I lived in New York. Rent was way, way too damn high. So what did I do? So one, I got as close as I could. I think at one point we were at 65%, then got back down to 62%, but it was difficult. It was difficult, hard to do in New York. But what we did was increase our income. So one, you can always cut back, and there are some fancy things that we didn't get to do the way that we wanted to, but it was easier for us to say, look, I'm going to switch jobs. I'm going to write more content. I'm going to put out more things and sell stuff and take on some extra projects and see if I can make more money. And that, if I make more money and my expenses stay the same, then that is a solution to help that. Another part is, we moved eventually after like 6 years. Then we moved, and guess what? Things are cheaper here, and that makes it easier to stay within that 50-30-20 rule. Again, you don't have to be exact. You just want to have a cap on how much you're spending on your needs. So that's number one. Okay, so that's the 50-30-20. 50 is your bills. What about the other half? 30% you should be able to spend for yourself. Okay, I'm telling you that you should have some money in your budgeting system to blow on things that you enjoy. Okay, and I ain't taking it back. I'm not taking it back at all. You should always have some money to enjoy, because when you don't, and you're really, really, really strict about, I'm budgeting down to the penny, and this and this and this has to be right, and I gotta cut back everything, turn off my lights, don't eat pizza, and just eat ramen noodles for 5 years until everything is right. It worked for some people. I have interviewed people on the radio, and it worked for them, okay? That ain't for everybody. It certainly ain't for me. And I think you should reward yourself for reaching certain milestones, saving that first $1,000, investing in that first stock, hitting your first 10,000, and keep it going. And a part of that, and one easy way to do it, is say, look, again, let's just go back to a $1,000 example just to make things simple. If I can keep my needs in that $500 range, and I know it's unrealistic, I'm just picking an easy number that we can all understand here, but if I can keep that under $500, I got $300 that I can play with for a little bit, and everything doesn't have to be strict. So maybe I can go buy a decent pair of shoes, maybe I can buy that new outfit, maybe I can go to the movies, do whatever it is you want to do, because you should enjoy your money. That's what it's here for. And the way that I see it is, we're investing right now to enjoy way more money later. But you can still use a little bit of that right now, and you should. So that's what the 30% is for. And then we've got that 20% for saving/investing. Now, y'all know me. I say 12 to 15% should go to the stock market. That includes the money that you may have in a 401k or something like that. It also includes money that you may get from a company match. So if you put in 6, they put in 6, that's 12. That leaves you with 14% that can go to your savings account. So that part you can play with, but I want you to try and get yourself to as close as you can to that 20% number. So that means that you're taking care of all those buckets. You got your fund money at 30%, you got your bills at 50%, you got your savings and investing at that 20%. You want to have all of those three. Now this, when you have this set up correctly, this, or as close as you possibly can, this is what's going to help you to have money at any income level, to put into the market consistently. Y'all know my system. Once I hit the stock market, I say, Target, Walmart. I don't even own Walmart on public, but I'm just saying it. But Target, Amazon, Apple, O'Reilly's, I'm just naming things I know that I own on there. I say, look, a part of that 20%, I'm putting in every week, right? So, you can say 20% divided by 4, I'm putting my 5% of my salary in, or my take-home pay 5% in every week, those DCA Fridays, and that's where that money comes from. And it's a whole system. So if I switch jobs, system's still there. It may not be the same, same dollar amount. It may not be $100 every week. Maybe it's 50. Maybe it's 1,000. Who knows, right? Depending on where the salary is. But the system is the same. So regardless of, if you're like me, last year I was in New York, had a regular job, went to Texas, running my business full time, came to North Carolina, all these things kept changing, and my salary and income kept changing, but the system stayed the same. You can go back and look at the receipts on public. The system stayed the exact same because I had a template like the 50-30-20 rule. So take that, use it however you want to use it, but the most important thing is that you have a system that helps you to create that success, that helps you to have that progress, because the progress is what's going to lead to the profits at the end of the day. So that's the biggest thing that I can help you with, is really building your life and your system around that. And the other thing that I did, and I talk about this in the book as well, and want to say real quick, let's see what chapter that was. That was around chapter 10, and chapter 8, between chapter 8 and chapter 10, and we talked about working backwards. So again, when I was looking for my apartment, we were looking for a house, I said, okay, here's what we make as a family, and if we're going to use a 50-30-20 rule, the mortgage payment needs to be under this amount, because I know I've got other bills, daycare, student loans, we don't have any car notes, thank God, cable bill, not cable, but YouTube TV, electric, all that stuff. It needs to stay under this amount so we have extra money to do all the other things. If I didn't walk into it backwards and really build my biggest expense, which is always going to be housing, if I didn't build that into it, that would have been a different situation. My mortgage is too big, I don't have enough to invest, which means I'm not going to have enough money in the future, and I'm not going to be building wealth the way that I should. So that is the biggest thing. Again, have that process. That process gives you progress. That progress gives you profits. I should put that on the shirt. I just thought about it as we're doing this video. We kind of do these not live, but like I don't do no editing because we gotta talk. We gotta get this out, right? But I think it's a little more authentic to kind of do like this. So that is it for me. That is the biggest thing, that system that you need to have to, at the end of the day, right? Like it doesn't really matter how much you make. It's about that process, but also you do need some money, right? So that's gonna really set the foundation. If those foundations are important, you can take it. And I've been using this for probably 9 years, 10 years. 10 years next year. So I've been doing it for 9 years of using this system. Now I can get further into it. If y'all want more budgeting tips and stuff that helps you to lead into better investing strategies, let me know in the comments because I can do this all day. All right. So again, thank y'all for coming out. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, all those things, liking, commenting. I love the comments and questions. So if you got more questions on this topic, put it in the comments below. Y'all know I answer and I be there. Right? I be there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe, do all those things. And then I'll put my public, my TikTok link in the description too. Your boy is struggling. I'm putting out more videos on TikTok because that's where y'all wanted me to be, as well as YouTube. So holla at your boy on TikTok. We just passed 1,000. We just passed 100. 1,000 soon. 1,000 will come soon. But holla at me on TikTok as well. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.